right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the running back coach position. Some word came out this week that, well, first off, as we discussed Friday night in our call-in show, Chris, some of the guys who we thought we were going after, it seems like didn't get the jobs or
Bad timing.
Ohio State to kind of negotiate a better deal at their current school. Now, word came out. I read this yesterday, and I was like, who? And I don't even know if I'm like pronunciating his name correctly. Markel Blackwell?
Mhm.
Markel Blackwell. Markel Blackwell, okay, let me run through the list of where he's been recently. So, and I'm just going to go recent, okay? He started as the running back coach in Western Kentucky in 2012, jumped around to a high school, over to Florida as a quality control guy. In 2016 and 2017, he was a running back coach at Toledo. 2018, running back coach at West Virginia. 2019, he was the co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Houston, and then moved over or down, I guess you will, the next 2 seasons to running back coach at Houston. 2022, he was a running back coach at Ole Miss. 2023, last season, running back coach at Texas A&M. This year, he took a job at South Carolina as the running back coach. My gosh, dude, seriously, he can't stay at more than one place for a year or 2 max. I don't know if this is good.
But you know what? You said 2 interesting things there.
Okay.
One was Ole Miss. Where did Judkins come from?
Ole Miss, but he would have been a freshman that year.
Number 2, Texas A&M.
What's that have to do with anything?
Isn't that where our AD came from?
Yeah, but I can't imagine that the athletic director.
Probably did not have a great deal of impact, but he's at least probably had at some point some FaceTime with the guy.
Okay. All right, I'll take that. So JR, what are you hearing about this? Because quite frankly, I was after Friday night, I was ready to say Pepe Pearson or Scotty Graham. Either one, I'm happy.
I've been good.
Yeah, geez. I was on the phone before we got on here, and to be honest, it's not very fun to talk about. It's not going particularly well. Everybody that they reach out to, they kind of try to use it as leverage to stay where they're at right now, and nobody wants to lose a running back coach in the middle of spring practice. So, I mean, from the beginning, I knew that Ryan Day's goal was to get through spring practice and then make this hire unless he had somebody that was ready to come right away, and it was like their preference that they came right away. DeMarco Murray was that way. DeMarco Murray sped everything up, wanted to be the top guy, and wanted to do that. Well, turns out, depending on who you listen to, he used Ohio State or, Oklahoma just made a really good offer. I don't know what the truth is there, and that just kind of...
Now, I had heard that Ohio State had lowballed. Have you heard anything about that?
I don't know anything about the dollar amount. I was told that it wasn't far off what Oklahoma offered him, though. Okay. But Oklahoma did offer more for more years. So Blackwell is one that I have heard, but I think he's staying put. I actually don't think Blackwell is all that promising of a candidate just from the discussions I've had. The guy actually at Missouri, Curtis Luper, I think it's Luper, Luper, he is the running back coach at Missouri. They just had that really good running back this year. What was his name? He was in the bowl game.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but anyway, he had a really good year this year, and I've heard that Ryan Day has got in contact with him. There is another mystery candidate out there that I have been given hints to who he is.
Cody Schrader. Cody Schrader.
Yeah. And he was like from JUCO or something like that.
Yeah.
There's another mystery candidate out there that I have not actually been told the name of. I asked what the name was, and I was told that apparently Ryan Day is very stressed out about this guy and does not want anybody to say his name to anybody. So because he doesn't want him to get he doesn't want his employer to get a sniff like DeMarco Murray's did and stuff like that. If I had to guess based on the information I've been given, previous time in the SEC with top tier programs, has kind of moved around a lot, didn't just coach running backs, has coached multiple positions, has signed multiple 5-star recruits, not no 5-star running back recruits, but 5-star recruits in other areas down south, kind of considered an expert in down south recruiting. The best I could come up with on that was Larry Porter at North Carolina. If you look at Larry Porter, where he's been, what he's done, and he had a really, really good running back this year. Hampton, I think was his name this year. And the other thing is that they said he has experience dealing with multi-running back systems, which the year before at North Carolina, he had like three rushers all over 400 yards or something like that. So that was the best name I could come up with. And then this is really puzzling to me. I don't know how far to go with this. So take it for what it's worth. I also thought, I also heard the name Bill O'Brien when it came to the offense coordinator, but I thought Bill O'Brien was being used more as a resource than an actual coaching candidate. Turns out he was a coaching candidate. I don't know if this guy is a coaching candidate or if he's being used as a resource or if Ryan Day is just messing with that team up north doing this. Mike Hart apparently is still in contact with Ryan Day.
I'm not angry about that.
I'm not angry about it either, but I do know that
we will be, but
yeah, Chris would not like that. But again, I don't know if that means he's a candidate. I don't know if that means that he is helping Ohio State because Sherrod Moore did him wrong. The team up north did him wrong. I have no idea. I don't know what that means. I don't think Ryan Day would hire him. That Ryan Day just doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. But yeah, I was told that Mike Hart interviewed for the job, and Mike Hart is continuing to talk to Ryan Day. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know what it means exactly, but that's what I've been told.
Okay, real quick, let's take a poll in the chat. Yes or no? Would you like Mike Hart to be the next running back coach at Ohio State? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Chris, you're first. Yes or no?
You even have to ask.
That's a no. So we have one vote for no.
There is so much venom I could spew right now. The only reason I don't is because I'm not sure if I took my blood pressure medicine today.
Okay, fair enough. JR, yes or no?
I mean, if I'm being honest, guys, I thought Mike Hart was a better running back coach than Tony Alford.
Sure looked like it.
What'd you say, Chris?
I don't dispute that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Part of me thinks it would be kind of funny to I tweeted out the day that Tony Alford left, and I said Ohio State has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever and put the Ohio State logo on Mike Hart's hat. I mean, it would be hilarious, but at the end of the day, I don't think Ryan Day would do it because he's not a good enough recruiter. Yes, he can develop guys like he did with Blake Corum, but he also had stinkers like Donovan Edwards, who, he was good the year before, but this past year, he wasn't anything near that you expected him to be.
He's actually my second choice. Everybody else is tied for first.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Would I hate it? No. Would I love it? Probably not. Would I utilize it in such a way to kind of, smash it in the face of the team up north fans? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You best believe I'll be making a video about thanks for the trade.
Right, especially when they talked about how much better all their running backs were and all this stuff. And yeah.
Jeremiah Yoder, that's a no, I'm guessing. He says Mike Fart. Bobby McCormick's on Chris. He gives you no. Bobby McCormick gave us a $10, so we're at $5 and a penny to go, guys. $5 and a penny to go to see our lovely in the know JR in a Ric Flair Ohio State robe for the podcast. JR Happiness, if Alfred can switch, why can't Hart? He says yes. Chris Smith says, I guess yes. This is kind of a maybe Chris's. I don't know. This is a yes or no. He said third choice. We've got a no. Odysseus 2002 says absolutely not. Larry Daniels says yes. Let's take their plays while we're at it, right? They have ours. Um, let's see here. Ryan Wickerham, yes. Give him a few years and see what happens. It's very split, man.
Yeah, what happens is he drags the program down.
Well, I mean,
What? And not only
So,
that, but
Chris, hold on. So, Chris,
hold on. What
Okay, I'm
does
just
it
asking
say
a
about
question.
Ryan Day's character if he brings on a guy from a team that cheated their way to a title?
what if that's the guy who called it in, Chris? What if
Well,
that?
then
He's
he
the
should have had
only.
the Stones to come out and say it.
We talked about it. He might not be
did.
able to because the court might be saying, "Hey, you're not allowed to talk about this."
I don't see that there's a gag order on that.
I'm just,
hold on, Chris.
Go ahead,
Would you say Mike Hart is a better, worse, or the same running back coach to Tony Alford?
Better.
And you still don't want him?
Still don't want him. I don't
Would
want
you say
anybody
that-
that's ever worn the amazing blue or where blue, whatever you want to call the crap colors they have. I don't know when anybody that's ever worn that uniform on the sideline.
Okay, I can respect that.
And go ahead, give me your little Bourne reference there now, Eric. It's okay.
which one, Jason? Zach? Which one do you want to talk about?
Let me just tell you, I don't care. If they played in that stink hole that is Ann Arbor, I don't want anything to do with them.
It is
And
a stink hole.
if they coached at that stink hole that's in Ann Arbor, I darn sure don't want anything to do with them.
Ryan Day went and grabbed 2 coaches off the roster before.
Doesn't make it right.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Let's pull it back and talk a little bit about this. I said this Friday night, and I'm going to say it again. If Ryan Day's having this much trouble filling this position, why in the heck is he not giving Pepe Pearson the opportunity? And I know some people have talked about Scotty Graham as well. Both former Buckeyes, both running back coaches, both who apparently, from what I hear, want the job. I know for a fact Pepe Pearson wants it bad. He wants it bad. So much so he sent Eddie George, his good buddy, to say, Eddie, to promote him to get it. What, JR, why aren't either one of these guys seem to be on Ryan Day's radar?
So I think the issue with Scotty Graham is how much he's kind of hip-hopped around and not been solid in college coaching for a long time. And the other piece of that is that Ryan Day wants somebody.
Scotty Graham?
Right. Wasn't he the one that was the AD and then he went to college coaching? And
so
stuff
why
like that?
in the world would he entertain Markel Blackwell then? He's hopped around like it's. I'm not even.
Well, but he's been hopping around in coaching. In coaching jobs.
Okay, so Scotty Graham, so he's been hopping from administration back to the
Yeah, because he was with the NFLPA.
That's a concern of mine as well, right? I said the same thing Friday night.
And the other issue is that Ryan Day wants somebody with deep South ties, because one of Ryan Day's biggest issues with Tony Alford is because Tony Alford was supposed to be his main Florida guy, but 2 cycles in a row, Tony Alford lost running backs in the state of Florida, where, Ryan Day is essentially dude, why do we have you down in Florida if you can't get Florida guys up here? Let's put Brian Hartline down in Florida because he can actually,
why do we feel a need to go after Florida running backs anyways? Look at freaking Texas for your running backs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't tell you exactly why. I just know that the South is where Ryan Day wants somebody with expertise in this position. And I don't think he thinks Scotty Graham has that expertise. The Pepe Pearson, I'm just kind of honestly just as perplexed as you are. Every time I ask about him, it's kind of no new news. And so I'm like, well, does that mean he's out of the race? And they're like, no, not necessarily is. Okay, does that mean that he got a second interview? No, not necessarily. Is Ryan Day still talking to him? We don't know. It's very, very quiet, which leads me to believe there's possibly something there. If I had to make a prediction, honestly, I would say that, like, they're being so quiet about Pepe Pearson. He would be like my dark horse prediction right now, because they don't want somebody to figure out about it for some reason or whatever. Because Ryan Day has gotten this, like, you know, I need to be secretive now that he lost DeMarco Murray, and now that he lost Robert Gillespie and all these guys. Like, he's like, I need to be secretive now and not let people know what's going on. And so maybe he's like trying to be secretive until after spring camp ends. I don't know, but it's very, very interesting that every time I ask about Pepe Pearson, it's like, yeah, no new update. And I'm like,
here's the thing,
right.
though. There's no need to be secretive about Pearson. Pearson's the one who came out and said he wanted the job.
I know.
Why would there be a need to be secretive? It's not like his school, the school he's working at right now, is not going to be able to match the money that Ohio State can throw at him.
Right.
So they know that Ohio State is where his heart lies. So why have to be secretive?
If there's one argument that could be made why you wouldn't want Pepe Pearson, it could be because Ryan Day could say he doesn't have the experience at Division I level or at the high Division I level that we are looking for. However, at his press conference Tuesday, Ryan Day came right out and said that that's not a big deal to him, and then he highlighted Brian Hartline as one of the reasons why, and James Laurinaitis, that these guys are great recruiters, and they just, kind of stepped into the job. We didn't know what we really had until they started.
Eric, are you just – I just want to clarify. Are you saying that great former Buckeyes players become great current Buckeye recruiters?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know.
Just trying to clarify.
I know.
My only other thought is maybe, just maybe, because obviously, Eddie George is the head coach down there. Is it possible that when Eddie George talked to Ryan Day about Pepe Pearson, he said, hey, you're going to have a whole lot easier time finding somebody once your guy leaves. It's going to be harder for me to find somebody. Pepe's
not coaching at TSU anymore.
He's not with Eddie anymore.
Oh, he's not there anymore?
No, he's at like
Turlington
Tungsten or something like, I don't know, something like that.
I thought that's why Eddie George vouched for him so much, because he was on his staff. Why did he leave?
Just got another. I think he's an OC there now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's moving up.
Okay. All right. I see. I didn't even know that, because they don't talk about him. No new updates.
I want to answer this, Chris Smith. Mike Hart not having a job yet is a huge red flag for me. Not necessarily when you look into his health condition. That might be one of the reasons why Mike Hart isn't coaching a job, and why he's not coaching in Ann Arbor. And again, in all honesty,
again, Eric, timing is everything too.
It is.
Right now, there's not a ton of openings out there, because most coaching positions have been filled by this point.
Jar of Happiness. Hartline didn't have coaching experience. No, he didn't. No. He was brought on as actually he came in to run with the receivers.
Yes.
When they were prepping for the national championship. He was still quasi trying to see if he had another season or two left in the NFL. Yeah. And so he came in and ran with the receivers. Had such a great time that Urban asked if he wanted to stick around as a junior assistant or whatever they call that, right? A grad assistant. And he said, sure. He's made millions. What do I care? I get to hang out, work out, and be around the kids. Sure, absolutely. And then the whole Zach Smith thing happened, and he was the guy sitting there ready to jump into that position. Before he was the wide – and remember, he was the interim wide receiver coach.
Right.
And before he had done that, he had zero coaching experience outside of what happened at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center under Urban when he was running with the boys.